Marauders, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a quick review of my Polaris RZR Pro Premium. And I realized I've never done two reviews. I've never done, well actually three. I've never done a review of this machine. It has 427 miles on it, 47 hours. I've never done a review of my RZR Trail. And I've really never done a full review of the John Deere 3046R cab tractor. I have to make a claim, and I'm usually very sensitive to people who own other brands, other machines. So I'm going to try to do this without being arrogant, but I absolutely firmly believe this. The RZR Pro is the best turbocharged trail machine there is. Can-Am Maverick X3 RR is faster, may ride a little better, but it is not as good on the trail as this machine. And if we go back to the, let's talk about the Talon. The Talon isn't turbocharged from the factory. If it was turbocharged, it wouldn't be as fast as this unit. It wouldn't have the options that this unit has. And I'll get into that later in the video. Especially for Northeast trail riding, not dune riding, not Southwest Utah trails, which are a little more wide open, but Northeast forest riding, turbocharged models, RZR Pro is the best there is on the market. Okay, let's get started on the video. Thank you for coming back to the channel. I hope you consider subscribing, liking, sharing this video. I need your support, guys. Please subscribe. Thank you. We'll start off by looking at the machine, and I'll give you a couple details. And why I go through the machine, I'll talk about the machine, and I'll try to give you examples of why, as I talk, why I think this is the best turbocharged trail machine. First of all, this is, I believe, a 2021 RZR Pro Premium. That means it has ride command. It doesn't have live action shocks. You guys know that although sometimes I drive a little quick on the trail, I am not a real fast rider. So I didn't feel that I needed the live action shocks on the machine. It roughly has 20 to 24 inches of wheel travel. Well, it's 64 inches wide, but those of you like me who buy these machines know that's really in the front 66, 67 inches wide. It just fits on my trailer. It has a ton of ground clearance on it, like 20, 24 inches of ground clearance. It has a 181 horsepower parallel twin Polaris engine on it, turbocharged, makes a lot of power. It is not as fast as a Maverick X3 RR. Not as fast, but turn for turn on the trail, I think it's the best machine, fastest machine on the trail for woods riding. Let's keep going. Claim to fame, some new features on this. Not only is it an all new RZR suspension, set apart for any XB chassis, with the most travel of any RZR up until the RZR Pro R. One feature that I like is that you can take this tub out with 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Take this plastic tub out, it will lift up, you can pull it out. Full accessibility to the engine. Clutch. There's a negative to the clutch and a huge positive. Negative is it's noisy. Most Polaris RZR's clutches are noisy. This thing moves a ton of air. In low, it's like you got a hurricane behind your head. Aside from that, it is a fantastic clutch. I never understand why people have to change clutches. I have flooded that clutch compartment, CVT compartment, on a trail, our Orleans trail. Accidentally swamped this machine. The driver's seat was underwater. Even though that was filled with water, I put it in reverse, That clutch backed the machine out. There was some slippage. It got it out of the hole, drained the water out of the clutch. The guys I was riding with, their jaws dropped. They couldn't believe, even though it was swamped, it got itself out. I've inspected the clutch. I inspected the belt. The belt was fine. It's a monster clutch. It has a ton of cooling on it. Doesn't get hot. It's an outstanding machine. 181 horsepower, turbocharged. For trail riding, it is a monster. It's on 29-inch. I don't think they're 30-inch. I think they're 29-inch carnivore tires. I think they're good. I don't know if I love them for the trail. In the mud, when we get in muddy conditions, they seem to slip a lot, snow. But I have to tell you, for Polaris to put that tire on, I think it is a premium tire and I like it. Moving along the side of the machine, negative, the doors. This machine is very expensive. My gosh, we're into that. I think they start now at 26, 27,000 and they might be over 30,000 for a RZR Pro. They should come with full doors. I had to install this filler unit on the door. This is all open. After I did that, then I got the interior liner on the door. If you can see that. The interior liner, once you have the fully assembled, the door is great. It should come with these doors. That's number one. Once you have it put together, the doors are outstanding. And I love the way they blended. Again, remember my first theory is like the way the machine looks, because this is how you're going to be looking at it most of the time. It has 47 hours on it. It's about much more time in my garage than it has on the trail. But like the way the machine looks, let's say it again, like the way the machine looks, and I do, this is a great looking machine from front to back. Love the way, love the design, the styling on the doors. Ground clearance is phenomenal on it for a trail machine. I think it's 14 inches of ground clearance. I think it's at least 14 inches of ground clearance, and that's with the stock tires. So ground clearance is excellent for the trail. It doesn't have arched A-arms on it. Slight arch, but not much. I wouldn't really call that an arch in the front. But the suspension is phenomenal. Again, 20 inches roughly front to back, not quite 2 feet, where I think the RZR Pro R is 2 feet of suspension travel. Had to install a winch on it. Of course, you know that's my #1 accessory is winches. I believe that's a 3,500 pound winch on it. It does have the self-stop on it. It does have, so you don't over tighten it, it does have the keyless remote. And actually, I think that might be a 4,500 pound wrench. It's awesome. Awesome. The winch is great. Getting accessibility to the winch is not so easy. You have to do it up in here. And even now, I'm cutting my hand on plastics. But accessibility is good for the, it's adequate for the winch. And it is a 2-speed winch, by the way. You know, I like this. Accessibility to the radiator for after you clean, ride on the trail is awesome. You can flood that radiator compartment. Put the radiator back in, pretty easy. So you can flood that radiator to clean it after you trail ride. Again, helps to keep the machine cool. Nice accent light on the machine. All the lights on the machine are LED lights. Front camera, outstanding. By the way, look at that light there. Front camera, I believe it comes with this bumper on the front. I added for mud, oh, it's brutal with mud. Most sport machines are brutal with mud, and this one's no exception, but this helped a lot. I added the extended fender flares, which are outstanding. I added a windshield, which is a pro and it's a con. The pro is it does help keep mud out of the cab, and dust. The con is during the winter, early fall, early spring, it does get condensation and fog up on the inside, which is brutal. Windshield wiper from Polaris is excellent, although expensive, very expensive. Windshield wiper works great with a washer mounted on the hood. Move to the back. Of course, I have to add a roof on the machine. This is a great roof. It's adequate, nothing special. Number 2 accessory, as all of you know, and I have some battle scars on this thing. Look at it here. There's one there. There's one on the bottom. Battle scars, rock sliders, they're a must. They are a must. I usually always, if there's a front bumper, I add a rear bumper to the machine. And of course, my RideFab, if you've seen that video, my RideFab storage box, which I retrofitted to this machine, and it's just cavernous. High quality aluminum made. I just love it. Again, rear camera. Hats off to Polaris. They put a rear camera on it. Look at how the radius rods, they are arched on the back, which I like. Look at that, how big that, beefy that radius rod is. Very big. They are arched in the back. Let's see some battle scars over here. Again, this machine is a little dirty, but look at that pipe coming out. I believe that's the intercooler. Look at this battle scar. Don't ask me why I like rock sliders. You gotta have them. I'm gonna get in the machine. I'm gonna start it up, give you some more examples of why I think it's the best. I'm gonna give you my vantage point with my eyes, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell this, but opposite, I think, from the Maverick, which is the only other factory turbocharged machine. And again, entering this machine headroom, my head hits on the tail end when I got in it with a helmet. I don't have that problem getting in with this machine, although this is a high step up with the frame coming on the side. There is a big step up. I'm always catching my boot or something here. Visibility on this for a sport side by side, especially compared to the Maverick X3, the visibility is excellent. If I lean over, I can see over the hood with the mirror in the back. Good visibility with my mirror. By the way, they did not give you a mirror. And really, you know what I feel? They should give you a full door, well, a full half door, and they should give you at least a mirror. But front camera, rear camera, visibility is excellent. If you don't have ride command, for one, if this was equal to another turbocharged machine on the to ride command just sets it apart. Having that navigation system, having that you can save those rides, having it that you can save those rides to your other Polaris vehicles with ride commands, or to your phone, the app, which is great. Polaris shares that app with other riders. It's just outstanding, over the top. So you have the utility of ride command with its instrumentation, with its navigation, with your phone set up, all the instrumentation and cameras with ride command. It's just outstanding. Visibility in the machine, I believe, is better than any other machine out there. I think the suspension is as good, maybe not quite as good as soft riding as the Maverick X3, or maybe even the Talon, but the suspension is very good. I would say it's close to both of those vehicles. The sport steering, I gotta turn this on for you. Quick ratio sport steering on the trail. I can drive this on our trails, which are very tight, and most of the time I don't even have to take both hands off the steering wheel. I can just cock it like I'm in a Formula race car. It is so awesome on the trail and tight. Now I think other manufacturers are doing this. Let's kill the engine. Other manufacturers are doing this, but the adjustable 4-point harnesses, I think, are outstanding. I hate 4-point harnesses. I can't stand them. The ones that are not easily adjustable or self-adjusting. To get in, you feel like you're trapped. These give you enough room, mobility, when you're in to change the radio station, grab your phone, and you don't feel like you're trapped in the machine. But when you hit the brake, they do ratchet, they do tighten up, they do an excellent job. From in the cab, what I think puts it over the top is easily ride command, but the quick ratio steering, again on the trail, is outstanding. The power from the 180 horsepower engine, more than enough for trail riding. Not as much as the Maverick X3RR, not as much, but it's more than adequate for trail riding. Suspension great. Visibility, I think, is the best in class. Cameras are the best in class. Well, the only ones, the only manufacturer that puts cameras in their machines. Let's start it up and we're going to turn all the lights on. Deer running through. See the deer? Look at him. Look at it staring at me. So people ask me what I raise on the Marauder Ranch. I raise deer. Because who can't raise deer, right? Every time I start this thing, my heart races. It is so cool. Every time I turn that key and the engine engages, it's awesome. Take it on the trail. It is just phenomenal. The ride, the power, the navigation system, the stereo. My wife actually fell asleep on Susquehannock Trail with the stereo playing. We were listening to Dean Martin off my phone. So just an outstanding machine. I'll give you some negatives real fast. The big negatives, and there's not a lot. You saw when I filled in this opening in the wheel well where mud was coming in directly into the cab behind the driver's seat. I filled that in. I found there is a part on Amazon that goes in much easier than making my part. I didn't like that mud enters the cab. That's a problem on all sports machines, but I didn't like that design at all. Negative, the doors, you know that. They should come with full doors. They should come with a mirror, full half doors. They should come with a mirror and heat. The cab does get hot. Someone told me, a very intelligent viewer said, that access behind the rear firewall that I filled in, that was for air to come through the cab to get the heat out and also cool the intercooler. I'm sorry, also cool the turbocharger. I just can't believe that Polaris would design a vehicle for air to go through the cab to cool the turbocharger. They may have, this person was very intelligent, I don't mean to insult them. Boy, that's pretty strange. Not big negatives. You know, those are the negatives. You buy the doors like most manufacturers make you do, fill in the doors. I filled in that mud access. Other than that, it's top notch. I give it a 10. I give it a 10. Should mention this. Here's where the cooling is. This is the air intake for the CVT clutch. This is the air intake for the engine. And it's awesome. So Marauders, that's my brief review at 427 miles, 47 hours of the RZR Pro. I believe it is the best turbocharged side-by-side on the market for the trail. I really do. It has thoroughly impressed me. It's been a great machine. We'll see if I hang on to it or trade it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. And I hope to see you on the trail. Thank you and God bless. Give you a look. turbocharger engages, it's a monster. It is a monster. I'm sure it has as much torque as any other machine that's turbocharged. Maybe it's a little slower, straight line, but man, and again, I forgot to say this, Polaris's all-wheel drive is just flawless, just great. Have a good night.